Hi, I'm Tom for Waterwise Botanicals, and it's a beautiful day in the winter. We just had a couple inches of rain, and I thought it would be a great time to teach you folks about planting in containers. I think I'm going to surprise you in some areas and eliminate some myths, so let's get going. If you look right here, we start out, when you have a container that's large and you're not going to move it, then we actually like to fill it with decomposed granite sand or sand. You can see that there's no potting soil in there whatsoever. And the reason for this is that if you were to plant this pot with a grouping of plants that we're going to do, and you let it sit for a year or two with potting soil, then over time all of those organics would decompose and the soil level would sink, and pretty soon your plants are down in a hole. So if you have a large container and you're not going to move it, fill it with sand, fill it with decomposed granite sand, because that's never going to sink down and compress. That's going to keep your soil level nice all the time. Now you may be going to yourself, well, that doesn't look like a very good medium to plant a plant in. In fact, it looks like it's almost rock hard. But when we plant the plants, we're going to add some organics to that top surface area. And when we add those organics, what looks like a very hard or very sterile mineral sand environment is going to become a wonderful growing medium for the plants that we plant inside. So let's get going. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dig out some of the existing sand so that we have room for the new plants that we're bringing. And so we're just going to carve this out really quick, and then we're going to drop in a very beautiful plant. It's a plant that's in the South African grasses group, not really a true grass, but it's got beautiful vertical lines, and I like that very much for this pot because it'll be the vertical feature of the little arrangement that we're going to make. So here I am, kind of carving out some space here, and I'm going to pick this up. You can see this will get to be quite tall, and it'll always have these really beautiful vertical kind of bamboo-like stems. So I shake that out of the pot. There's actually quite a lot of nice organic material in that already that's going to help create the soil medium that we want on the surface. Look at that. It's like I'm having a fight with myself. Okay, now we go. Tuck that baby in. Bring the soil back around there. Now sometimes I don't always want it dead center. For my vertical, I might want it off a little bit off center. And so that's what we're doing there. Then we're going to take another beautiful plant. This one I love. This is perennial alyssum. It never goes to seed like its annual buddy, and this will live for 4 to 5 years. So this is a fantastic plant to kind of fluff up and create a different texture along with the grass-like texture and some of the succulents that we're going to add. And you can see that I'm actually shaving off some of the root ball. No crisis, it's just easier, you don't have to dig as deep. And by the way, that smells good just like its regular annual alyssum brother. Okay, so we got that. This will actually spill over a little bit to one side. We have another spiller. It's nice to have in your pot thrillers and spillers. So this is going to be a hanging athonus, it's called. It's got little red stems, yellow daisy flowers, and this will hang very far. This will hang down about 2 feet, 2.5 feet eventually. So this is going to be very pretty for that. Squeeze that in there. Okay, and I'm going to take out some more of this sand material so I've got room for a little bit more organics. And let's look at our next plant. The next plant we'd like to have kind of a bold color shift, and in a succulent. This is Echeveria harmsii ruby slippers. This is like a very small succulent shrub. This will live permanently for years and years of service. Has these gorgeous red leaves, and when it blooms, it's got red flowers on top of that. And so let's tuck that one in there to the side. Now when you tuck in, angle things away just a little bit. Like you see, I didn't plant it straight up. I'm kind of angling everything away from our vertical. So that's very pretty there. Now, some people are into ornamental grasses. I love ornamental grasses, but don't you just wish an ornamental grass would bloom? So I'm going to crack you up when you see this. This is actually an ornamental grass blooming. Not. It's actually a little tulbagia, or society garlic. It's a variety that we call Thinny Mini. And it's got beautiful little purple flowers often throughout the year. And when it's not, it just has this nice grass-like texture. So we're going to tuck this over in on this side. And look at those roots. For that little thin grass thing, it sure does have powerful roots, doesn't it? Shove it in. You don't need to be that gentle. We just get everything in place, get everything looking really nice. And then the last spot I've got towards the back, available for some Sedum Firestorm. Again, another great color shift in the whole arrangement. We've got reds, we've got greens, got some purple tints, we have the white flowers, and this will be a fiery orange. And it'll hang over the edge just a little bit also when it's all said and done. So that pretty much does this. You can also put some decorative rock up in there, like some little cobbles, little pebbles or something. That's actually quite a nice effect. But I wanted you to see the planting process where you're not using potting soil all the way down in your container. The only thing about it is when you put that sand in, or that decomposed granite sand, it's going to be heavy. So make sure that it's where you want it to be and you're not planning on moving it. But once you do that, this beautiful arrangement that I just planted is going to give us years of service and not sink down into the pot. Tom for WaterWiseBotanicals.com.